Max. I am part of NP DC, and this is an original that I wrote for my band here in DC, and we're called Lowlight. Our Instagram handle is lowlight.jams. We're a 6-piece like funk pop situation. We have a trombone and a trumpet and a pretty fucking fire guitar player and all this stuff. And yeah, I wrote the song. It's called Fortune Cookie.
I think I need a minute, or maybe just a drink, 'cause lately I've been slipping. Lord, I am trying not to sink. The usual things ain't working. I take it day by day. As time goes by, although I try, Lord, I don't know what to say. So who do you turn to when you need a hand to hold? Try to make it to tomorrow, wearing yesterday's old clothes. When the sugar don't taste sweet no more, you help me make it through. For all my pride is cold outside and I don't know what to do. I don't find it all that easy to write these sappy songs. You know I am seldom sentimental. When I do, it don't last long. A fortune cookie told me a lesson I won't forget. If you want to see that rainbow, boy, you gotta get a little wet. So who do you turn to when you need a hand to hold? Oh, try to make it to tomorrow, wearing yesterday's old clothes. When the sugar don't taste sweet no more, you help me make it through. For all my pride is cold outside and I don't know what to do. Oh, but what good is the sunrise when you haven't seen the night? I find the dark gives some perspective when you finally see the light. You know I am so glad now that I get to share my view. You know I only made it here because of you. You know I only made it here because of you.
There we go. That song is called Fortune Cookie, and yeah, we have an EP coming out in the next month or two, and it'll be on that.
Welcome to episode 16 of M Project the Show. Vibes are super mellow right now, friends. I'm feeling like very just relaxing. I think our musical guests have just mellowed me the F out, and I'm feeling really good.
We're feeling like, yeah, there you go, Laura.
Sleepy. Laura's young.
Hey, hey, Boyan, host Boyan, will you introduce the cast?
No. I think by this point, everybody should know who we are. And if you don't know, it's okay.
That's true. No,
it's just a revolving door of characters that are coming up in front of your faces. But I think we have a fun and interesting episode today. We don't have any guests that will be talking. We just have musical guests that are incredible. Well, I would like to talk to you two, and I think that actually the jams play really nicely into what we're about to talk about, which is a little TBT on Friday, or a Flashback Friday, going back to the 90s. As you know, sports are not happening. Nothing is basically happening. But the hottest talk in town right now is a little ESPN series called The Last Dance by one and only, well, it's about 90-80 Bulls, but more importantly, it's about unprecedented access to one and only Michael Jordan, who I believe, to all three of us, has had some sort of influence to, you know, a tiny Serbian fella, to a track star, up and coming track star in upstate New York or central New York, and then a punk in Madison, Wisconsin, trying to play basketball. I think we can talk a little about MJ and the 90s Bulls. What do you guys think?
I think it's too wide open of a subject, but let's dive right on in. I'm glad I started. Thank you again for asking me to start. It's important for anyone that doesn't know.
I'm asking Laura because Laura asked a really good question when we were doing the sound check. And then we decided to save it for the show. So Laura, why don't you go and ask the question again? It was a very profound question.
Well, actually, I'm not even going to ask the question yet. You say track, but in the 90s, I was not running track. So I was a basketball player, and I played through high school until I was 19 years old. So I really thought I was going to be the next Rebecca Lobo and play on the New York Liberty, and that was my dream.
Did you put more time into basketball or violin? Because we're learning. So I don't know.
I lived and breathed basketball.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, actually, come to think of it, there is a clip of the three of us having a little bit of
dunk contest
in your mom's driveway, and Laura was suspiciously good, wasn't she, Butch? I mean, come on.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it all makes sense.
We're going to link that in
Yes.
the notes below.
Yes. So Laura, why don't you tell us about your basketballs and Chicago Bulls? Like, were there any overlaps? Obviously, Rebecca Lobo, but
all right. So there's some overlap here. Okay, of course, I was a Michael Jordan fan. Of course, I wasn't watching every game, probably like you guys were, but I had the Chicago Bulls starter jacket, front pocket.
Wow.
Right?
What color? Was it mostly red or mostly black?
Mostly red. Yeah. Probably wanted the black one. I had that, and then I also had a Charlotte Hornets blanket. It was very conflicting and weird. I specifically remember a couple things. One, Michael Johnson, the sprinter, was also, I think it was like the 96 Olympics, where he had the golden spikes in Atlanta. Was that Atlanta? I think so. But so like I was like Michael Johnson and Michael Jordan to me were just like these two icons. And then Mia Hamm came out with that commercial. Do you guys remember that? If whatever you can do, I can do better. And it's Mia Hamm versus Michael Jordan. That I somehow remember like in my history of Michael Jordan facts. But no, I mean, I wasn't like diehard NBA, kind of like you guys may have been, but.
So as you're watching,
of course, I've watched all these episodes.
As you're watching the episodes, are you having flashbacks?
Some flashbacks, but like I'm kind of, I hate to fall into the stereotype, but I am kind of like the female on the side of the couch where like Connor's like dialed in and I'm on my phone Googling like, why aren't they showing Michael Jordan's wife? Like I want to know all his like he's been like famous for being just really private, and even when he retired he's kind of fallen off. Like where is Michael Jordan aside from like golf tournaments? And so it's like
owning NBA teams.
Yeah, and so I want to know more. And turns out he has 5 kids. I thought he just had the 3 with the first wife, but he has little twins with his new wife.
Jordan's like the Tom Hanks of basketball when it comes to like he's the best, but we don't really know what he's doing. And then because of the era, there's no access. So it's something that Boy and I talked about. By the way, Goldie my wife asked the same exact thing about the wife, the whole deal.
Like, why aren't they like there was nothing in that series about his personal life, aside, of course, from his father. But like, and part of me is like, I respect this. This is awesome. And then part of me is like, I need to know more. I need to know more.
I also think that's the era that you have the access as much as the athlete is willing to give you access. Right now, everybody is so scrutinized. Everything is with social media. Everything is under this giant magnifying lens. And in order to portray a certain persona, you have to have online presence. Like famously, there's a baseball player, and BG's rocking Pirates jersey, Mike Trout, who is not on social media. And the commissioner of baseball came out and said, if he this is one of the best players in the league, and we need this guy to have stronger social media presence because it's good for the sport. Whereas Mike Trout is like, I don't care about Instagram or Twitter or fucking Facebook. Like I just want to play ball. That's all I care about. I want to be a private guy. I want to be able to, get on an airplane and not be bothered by everybody because people are recognizing me. So I think it's much more difficult to do that today than it was in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean the circus the circus that followed him around was like, I could be wrong about this, but I don't think LeBron has that kind of fanatic volume of people chasing him. I don't know how else to say it. Like maybe
I think he does.
You do.
It's just you're not like following him now.
I'm not one of the kids.
You're not out there with your pen and paper.
Yeah,
true.
You would not be the kid chasing, right?
So the it is a 10-part documentary series that goes on Sunday nights. ESPN was going to launch it in June. They moved it up to April because of the fact that there's nothing on TV, and every Sunday night they play back to back. So not only did they play the first 1 hour episode, they went right into episode number 2. And so now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 9 and 10 are this Sunday.
Yeah.
And I've had a good time laughing about this because I don't consider myself a football fan at all. I don't consider myself a baseball fan at all, even though I wear tons of baseball shit. And even like I'm kind of nervous to tell people I'm a basketball fan. So I've never really known, and Boyan will make fun of me, I don't really know who plays for the Patriots, or like, is Tom Brady still winning or is he gone? What's happening? But with this shit, I am dialed. I'm dialed. And it's like one topic in like what I would call mainstream broski, yell at the TV type sports where I'm right there. I'm right there. I was telling Boyan, Goldie will ask a question during the show, and I won't even turn my head, and I definitely don't answer it.
So what has been your favorite part? Like what part, or what did you guys find out from watching this that you didn't know before?
I didn't read like the Jordan Rules. I didn't read a lot of his books or books that people wrote about him. So I'd only kind of heard that he was an asshole, but to have his teammates sitting and looking in the camera saying, yeah, he was a tyrant. Like he wasn't a nice guy. Like he wasn't fun to be around. Like they were scared of him. His teammates were scared of him. And then he drove them all into this insane 6 championships. Like at what cost? Did anyone ever dream to go to the NBA to make good friends with their teammates? Or is that the absolute definition of excellence where everything that he does is about winning? So to hear these really nice personalities come alive and be like, I'm BJ Armstrong, I'm Bill Weddington, and be like, yeah, we don't know if we like him at all. I thought that was fucking hysterical. I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, for me, it's a lot of things, because what I knew of Michael Jordan, or what I had access to in Serbia, was through, I guess, later 90s was through like satellite TV and like some German channels that would have weekly games here and there. You would have those 30-minute shows with like top 10 dunks and stuff like that. But the media, the accessibility to media and the stories and a lot of these background stories and kind of like the gambling problem and this and that, like I did not know that until later in life. But even on this very granular level, and to kind of like connect to some of the faces. And then with Scottie Pippen, like I thought Scottie Pippen was the coolest dude alive. And I didn't know about the rift with the front office, with contract negotiations, all that stuff. Like I didn't know about any of those things. So to have that just wide open door, it's really cool for me. And BG, I told you this when you were fanboying on one of the calls, but I have like a visceral emotional reaction to seeing a red Bulls jersey with those black letters. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just time of my life where I thought that Michael Jordan was just like complete God and the Bulls were like untouchable. But every time,
but when you see go ahead. Sorry.
I see that color, like that color combo, red with black letters with that white outline around the letters. I just get warm and fuzzy feeling. I just get super excited. I'm super stoked on it. I don't know.
But here's one thing. Here's one thing that you didn't cover just now, and you didn't cover the last time we talked, which is, and what? It makes you want to pick up a ball. It makes you want to cry. It makes you want to.
No, it just kind of like it throws back to the emotion. I don't know what it is. I can't really pinpoint it or what it is. It's just I think it's a pleasant feeling. It's not negative. It's not. It's just kind of like I don't know, like who I was when I was 15, you know,
Sure,
or
sure,
17
sure,
or
sure.
whatever. Like it just kind of like
It takes you
that
back.
kind of cool part of my life, despite everything else that was happening that was shitty. Like that was fun and awesome. Anyway,
So Laura, if we're all kids on the playground in Serbia or these United States, whatever, and we're all picking who we are, right? I'm gonna be, and the three of us we're all gonna be on the same team in theory, but none of us are allowed to be Jordan.
Okay.
Who are you?
Can I just tell you who you guys are?
sure.
Why don't you just save yourself for last? So go Boyan, me, and then you.
Okay.
And why? And why?
I don't know everybody's name. I think that's the problem.
That's
I'm
okay.
just gonna go with BG. BG is Dennis Rodman.
No, I like that.
Yeah. You're the clown, and he's been my favorite part of the entire thing. And I could watch that episode and like an hour plus of it. I wish they just kept going.
Have you
How
seen
about when they
30
learned
for
this
30
story?
with Dennis Rodman? Have you seen 30 for 30 with Dennis Rodman?
Mm-mm.
There's a whole episode of
Yeah.
30 for 30. It's like an hour and a half long of like his upbringing as a kid all the way to like Kim Jong-un rubbing elbows.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
would recommend. It's really, really interesting.
Who's Boyan?
You choose. I chose who you are.
Well, Boyan's Bill Weddington. Which is the same way of saying you're a dork. No. Boyan is, the problem is it doesn't really match up, but I think Boyan's a Steve Kerr type.
I know. I was going to say him too.
which is I'll use one of your words, massive compliment. Because I think Steve Kerr puts in the fucking work. And I think he actually when he's speaking, he mostly knows what he's trying to say. Rodman doesn't. And he doesn't need to be the center of attention. Even though when he is, he's fucking on point. Steve Kerr was one of my favorites back in the day. And then when he was a coach, and then before his Golden State years, and then at Golden State, I thought he was awesome. But it wasn't until he started speaking up on some of the communication between the NBA, some of his players, and President Trump. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google search Steve Kerr, CNN, Trump, and he does an interview about the political climate. And whether you agree with him or not, he's extremely well-spoken. Don't let it go to your head, motherfucker. You're okay. All right, now, Boyan, who's Laura?
Well, then following all those lines, I guess Laura can only be Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Like,
Scottie Pippen, underpaid. Underpaid, overworked.
Right, exactly. She will show up, she will do the work, but she will always complain behind the scenes. But like when the push comes to shove, she will fucking perform, and she really fucking.
Oh man, let's start with Scottie Pippen's voice though. That shit is just so smooth.
Yeah,
he's a cartoon.
Velvet.
He's a cartoon man.
Yeah.
Oh, you want him to read you bedtime stories? Not me. You do. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's an okay place to end. I mean, this is a shorter episode with lots of music.
Hello, my name is David Cerezo. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and I'm part of the NP group in Dallas. This is the original piece that I made for myself, and I'm going to share it with all of y'all.
Bye.